drug addict. Can you imagine what she's going through? Yeah. But she had to learn to leave him alone and not to give him money or clothes that he just sells. Yeah. So there you go. So there it comes very natural, but then what we're trying to do is to expand it to others. So of course it's frightening. I'm not saying it's not frightening. So let it be frightening and let yourself see whether it keeps inspiring you or say, okay, too much, you know? Instead of finding excuses where one doesn't apply it. Or situations where, oh no, this doesn't apply. But to apply it in situations where it's very easy and see what happens. But why should I protect them if their suffering does not cause me any harm? Then why protect myself against future suffering? It causes me no harm. Okay. You are caring about your body of tomorrow, isn't it? Or old age. At least, pension. We put money into old pension. Do you know your body of when you're old? Do you experience the pain of your body of tomorrow? No. But you still have interest in keeping it alive. Do you see the argument here? That argument is not valid when he says, but why should I protect them? Because I don't feel their suffering. Because we don't feel the suffering of tomorrow's body, still I eat because I know that, we're taking medicine or whatever. Okay? Clear? It is a mistaken conception to think that I shall experience the suffering of my next life, for it is another person who dies and another that will be reborn. We're so concerned about also next life, which is good, by the way, but it will not be you, because you don't remember your past life. So it will not be that I, that ego. It will be another one. You don't remember who you were. Or some people do, but not many. So also, that argument doesn't really hold. 99, surely whenever there is suffering, the sufferer must protect himself from it, but the suffering of the foot is not that of the hand. Why then does it protect it? So again, this is what we already had before. So it's for the sufferer himself, he will say, to shield himself from injury that comes. The pain felt in my foot is not in my hand, so why in fact does one protect the other? So Pema Chodron says, from the conventional point of view, the exercises in equanimity between self and others are nonsense. Yeah, from the conventional point of view. Those who suffer should help themselves. This way of thinking makes sense from a conventional standpoint. I take care of myself, you take care of yourself. The last two lines of this verse contain Shantideva's answer. Again, he uses the comparison with the body. Obviously, the hand protects the foot if necessary. If that makes sense to us, why do we dismiss the idea that separate beings could also relate to one another as parts of a whole? When someone is in pain, we see him or her as someone else. How do we know we are not isolated beings? One way is to think that we are hurting ourselves if we don't help them. As we work with this idea over and over again, what started as an exercise becomes real understanding. Whatever happens to one of us affects the whole. If you think about it seriously, this thinking in terms of interdependence makes perfect sense. If we don't take care of each other, I suffer, they suffer, the whole world suffers. So it's not an easy task. Then, verse 100. Although this may not be justified, it is done because of grasping at the self, but surely whatever is not justified for myself or others should all costs be rejected. Here it says, this may be irrational, you'll say. It happens simply through the force of ego clinging, but that which is illogical for both of us should be refuted and dispensed with utterly. So it's about this I that should be refuted and get rid of, and we do a short reflection on that. Okay, and then we continue with verse 100, 101. How we don't see how, we don't understand what I or ego is. Okay? Okay, so now we make kind of 10 minutes, just it's very short and it might click something. So you sit, maybe you don't feel like sitting, that would be great because the ego doesn't feel like sitting. It wants to have lunch, it is hungry, it's fed up, it's tired, I talk, she talks a lot, so blah blah blah. That feeling of I don't want to be here, I don't want. That one we're going to look at. But first we just sit, so just relax. Just relax, let the mind go into whatever it does when you meditate. Yeah, you can shut that down, we don't need it anymore. And just focus on your breath, It's 15 minutes more, then we'll have something to eat. So don't worry again, you will not die of hunger. It's a way of practicing patience, not giving in every time the ego wants something special. So you just sit with a straight back, not needing to be anything special. And then you put the thought in your mind, I am meditating. And then you look and you check maybe at the height of your chest something. When I just said, okay, let's just sit, the feeling that was then, and now that you very consciously think, I am meditating, and you try to hold that sensation, that experience. You experience the feeling, the sensation of something that seemed to have jumped in, that was not there before. You try to hold it, you will see it slips away. Then you have to think again, I am meditating. Okay, so we're all convinced that we have one I, singular, permanent, independent. This is how it feels. So let's see if that's true. Now you think your name. I am Losang in my case. Now that feeling of I, me in your chest, not the thought, but in your body, the feeling I am Losang, is it the same as I am meditating or is it different? Then you think about a situation that makes you angry or would make you angry or something that made you angry. And you check if something changes in that sensation. Maybe something in the future, we have elections in front of you. Oh, that's a good one. Think you hear the result that you didn't want. Then the feeling of I, how is it different from the one who meditates or the one that knows who it is? Or is it the same? Try to be very realistic here. Then think about a situation when you have harmed somebody. Maybe they even said, wow, you hurt me so much. So don't think too much about the situation. Just a memory is usually enough. Again, is that I feeling the same or is it feeling different? To be very aware, like looking through a microscope. Don't be too happy with just superficial kind of answers here. The one who heard from somebody else, oh wow, you hurt me so much. It's painful. I have hurt somebody. How does that I feel? Does that I feel separate from the pain, or is it the pain? Does it feel same as the one who is meditating, or does it feel different? The next one, somebody has harmed or hurt you, didn't treat you the way you would like to be treated. Disrespect, ignored, rejected. How does that I feel? I have been rejected. How do you feel the pain? Where do you feel it? How does the I feel at that moment? Same or different as the others? Then you think about another person, somebody with whom you have a totally uncomplicated relationship, friendship. Somebody that every time, you will meet, you're happy to meet, no expectations, being considerate about each other, totally normal, flowing. And you think, I love you so much. How does that I feel? Not too much attachment, okay? This is why I said uncomplicated. Easy. The person is happy, you're happy even you're not the cause for their happiness. The person is not happy, you try to do something even though you're not the cause for their unhappiness. Simple. Simple friendship. But, I love you so much. How does that I feel that loves? Then you think about the last one, situation where you were able to help. It doesn't have to be a complicated thing. Somebody needed help, you had the skills to help, you helped without any expectations, the result was good. The person was helped. I was able to help. How does that I feel? Okay, now, big question. We agreed, or I made you agree, we have a singular, permanent, independent, separate self, separate from the body and the mind. Now, usually these different I's, they all feel different. So which one of those is that real, singular, independent, permanent, inherently existing I? or me? Which one? If you're left wondering, this is great. But I will still ask you, which one do you think is this singular, permanent, independent me or self? Instinctively, what do you think?
Can you repeat the question?
Huh?
Can you repeat the question?
So, we're sure we have a one I, not, if Leora is calling, hey Losang, and I'm not saying, which I do you want? You want the kind one or want the nasty one? You want the awake one or the sleepy one? Which one do you want? You want the one from today or from tomorrow? We're convinced we have one I. Which one of these? Did they feel different, these eyes? Yes or no? Yes. So we're convinced we have only one eye, so which one is the real one of those? Which one? Instinctively, what would you say?
The one that's wearing
huh?
The good and kind. The good and kind.
The good and kind. Uh-huh. But what about the others then?
The one that is wearing the hat at the moment.
Where is it? Yeah, but we have one, and they all feel different. How can it be, which one is the real one? Otherwise you'd have to say, I have 50 eyes. Okay, the one who is there. But we don't say like this, and we don't act like this.
We have multiple personalities, actually.
But we're not reacting like this.
The one that observes this kind of eye.
Does it need an eye to observe? Do I need to think, I observe, therefore I see?
Okay, there is no eye.
There is nobody there. We don't need this one. Do you feel that eye that observes separate from the observer?
No.
No. So where is it? Where is it?
There is no. Anything.
Huh?
There is no.
Merely labeled. Merely labeled. And that singular, permanent, independent I that is creating the anger and the attachment and all this, then you feel it. That's the only place, that's the only one you feel. All the others you don't feel. Right? That one is added by our ignorance. And that's the problem, that we believe in it so strongly.
When we are in a survival mode,
Huh?
No, what I can share is that the only time that I saw that there is only a state mind was the anger. There was no I, just anger. And the I that I felt the most identified, like it exists, is the meditating one. Like it was something, some presence.
Yeah, but it's not an I, it's not a real I. This is it. It's just the action of meditating. Why do we need an I?
We don't.
Yeah. But did you feel, when I just said, you just sit, you're just sitting. Then I say, you think I'm meditating, something jumps in that is more. It needs the thought. The I needs thoughts to exist. And when there's anger, you don't need an I to be angry, but anger arises when I did not get what I wanted. Or my family did not get what they wanted. My group of people did not get what I wanted. Do you see what I mean? That's the confusion that we're having. We're holding this for real. We don't need an I. Anger is anger, and love is love, and compassion is compassion, and this and that. There is no need for an I. Still, you have a conventional I that you know who you are. Okay? But that conventional I would then, if it's wise, it would see everybody as equal, and not me as first, and then the others. But it's a conventional I, merely labeled. And because we have a basis, body and mind who changes moment by moment by moment, and ignorance kind of projects, puts And innately, this is it, since the beginning, a me or I into that combination of body and mind, and that I doesn't change, because it's just a thought, it's just an idea. Anyway, you have to go about this again and again and again and again. Just, when you're angry, it's because anger wants to stay with the situation, wants to stay outside, because you need it for food. But when you go in and you go, how does it feel? Or who is angry? You try to find the I or the me. When you are not inside, you go, I am angry. And you don't even know what the I is, but it's I am angry. Then ask, what is angry? Your hand, your face? Nah, come on. I am I. Your I. But I has no meaning. I always needs a body and a mind. Totally dependent on either body and mind. You say I, no meaning. You say I walk, body walking. I think, mind thinking. I'm happy, mind happy. Body happy, whatever. I sleep, body sleeping. The I has no job. And we make such a fuss about it. Now we go and feed it. So before we eat, we always think about Mother Earth, who is still feeding us. I tell you, if she would have a self-cherishing mind, she would have long ago stopped feeding us, because the way that we just take and take and take and take and throw all our garbage onto her and don't even say thank you, Good thing she is equanimous. So she keeps feeding us as best as she can. So please be aware of that. Then all the beings who came together to make it possible that your food is in your plate, not just the last person, but starting from the grandparents of the people who work in the fields here, and even further back. So it's the whole universe again. Without them, without my parents, I wouldn't be here. I might be somewhere else, but not what I am. Without the grandparents, my parents, and so we can go backwards and backwards. There's no beginning. And so we think about all these beings, and especially the beings that maybe we see working in the fields, in the supermarkets, bringing all these things, taking care of them, sorting out everything that has a little spot, because nobody wants to buy it. So please, you be the friar who buys the vegetables with the spot. You'll see, you won't be even able to do that. That you're checking and looking and knowing that it will be thrown away. So why not say, I'll be the one buying it, not for cheaper price, for the same price, and you just cut off the spot. And then we start to see how selfish we are. And, big words about environment, blah, blah, and this and that. But no, my vegetables should be spotless. You'll see how difficult this is, without anybody noticing how noble you are. No, I'm not falling off. Without noticing, without saying, because this is supposed to go in secret here, that I buy them and I pay the normal price. I don't want a kind of reduction. Wow! Yeah. So that's where we start. I tell you, with our bodhicitta, to see the self-cherishing, and then you create the karma to have spotless vegetables in your next life, effortless next lives. Anyway, let's go and eat, but let's offer it first to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or your object of veneration, object of devotion, whatever that might be. It's good to have an object of devotion that serves as inspiration to go that way, that gives us methods, how to be happier, how to behave. It's a matter of trust. So you need to know that object of veneration or devotion. For me, it's the Buddhas and Arya Bodhisattvas. On behalf of all beings who make it possible that I have the life that I have, and I had the lives that I had before, so that means all beings. On behalf of all these beings, I offer my food, which I don't see it, but I visualize all the delicacies in the universe. I offer it to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas on behalf, like kind of giving my voice to all these numberless sentient beings who don't know how to do that, or who know how to do that, so they get the merit from offering the food. You can offer it in the form of light, or in the form of whatever you find delicious. The Buddhas accept it, and they send back light, which is the nature of our mind, luminous, spacious, send back light rays who bless us and all sentient beings around us, so that we all can create a karma, not having to fight for our food. Nobody has to create negativities for their food. Nobody has to the environment doesn't have to suffer because of our food. And then finally we can live off the food of what is called samadhi. The more concentrated, the more open, the more relaxed your mind is, the less you will need food. Okay, so please enjoy whatever you will eat, because you have a duty to enjoy, because there was a lot of effort who went into that food, not just the ones who cooked it, but especially the ones who grew it. Cooking it is easy afterwards, but growing it, and the transport, and so please enjoy and honor their effort by enjoying your food. Okay. And we meet again at 2:00 if you would feel that you would like to meet at 2:00.